Have you ever wanted to keep your screen nice and clean while you are driving, but give your viewers a completely different experience with all the stats and action they came for? In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up two overlay configurations using RaceLab, one for you and one for your viewers, either via your streams or recordings. So let's jump right in. Overlays are listed under the Overlays tab, and you can see everything that is available, including the free or the paid ones that are flagged with the diamond button. And then the Layouts tab is where you can create your layouts. You can very easily create a layout by clicking this button here, and as you can see, I have already one for me. I have called it iRacing. So when I click it, you can see that I have two different collections of overlays, one for the screen section and one for the streaming session. Each one of those are completely different on how I add, remove, display, configure completely different overlays. So for my screen overlays, you can see that I have created here quite a few of them. So for example, I have the standings, I have the lap differentials, so I can see how each lap is performing versus the previous one. I have, of course, my telemetry, my digital flag, my mirror, which has a lot of different overlays for the position, the temperature, so on and so forth, all the deltas, the session timer, my relatives, and of course the pit time and the pit limiter information, weather information, map, and also chat conversation for the streams. So you will see that I have a lot of stuff in here that potentially my viewers are not interested in looking at. And also, because I'm playing on a wide screen, which is a 34-inch wide screen, then if I want to have a great viewer experience, I have to change the resolution to a much smaller resolution. And it means in order for all those overlays to be displayed nicely on the viewer screen, I have to bring them closer to the center, cluttering and creating a lot of distraction for me while I'm driving. So as I have this configuration there for me, and you can see that I have the information pulled all the way to the corners and keeping my center of the screen empty and clean for my driving, then the question is, how do I make the viewer a bit different, the experience for the viewer a bit different? So if I go back to my layouts, you can see that I have the screen and the streaming. Under the streaming, I can have different completely overlays only for the viewers. And you see here that I have kept it much more simpler than mine. And I have, of course, my standings with the information that I believe the viewers wants to see. I have, again, the digi flag because it's nice for them to see what is happening. I have the deltas in a completely different format, simply removing all the additional detail and keeping it simple for what the viewer potentially wants to see. My telemetry, because it's nice to have and everyone's interested to see when you brake, when you throttle. And of course, the relatives. Now you can see that this is completely different to mine. And the other thing is, this is completely configured for a different resolution, a resolution that matches my streaming and recording resolution. And now everything will be displayed to the viewer screen very nicely. The question now is, how do you make that completely distinction between what you see and what the viewer sees? So let's take a look at this. The overlays for the streaming are actually displayed by a browser. And in order to access the overlays for that browser, you have to click on the streaming session collection of overlays. And at the bottom, you will see two URLs. One is for the dark mode, and one is for the simple transparent mode. You can copy by clicking the button, and then you can go back to OBS where actually all the magic happens. All right, now all the magic happens within OBS. Do you remember the URL that we copied earlier for RaceLab? Excellent. Keep it in your clipboard. You will need it for a moment. So now here we have to add two sources. One is the game capture source, and the other one is the browser source. The game capture is used to capture the game that you currently have open in full screen or whatever layout you want to have as an output for your streams. The browser source is to use the URL in order to display the overlays for that hosted browser that's happening on your PC. So by adding the capture is very easy. You just click a source, you add capture, you click that, you add it as a new source because I already have it for my setup. add source, and then you simply say, here you leave this as it is, you click close, and when a game opens, automatically will capture it, right? Let me delete that so it doesn't interfere. And for the overlays, exactly the same thing. You click source, you go to browser source, and you click add source. Let's add a new source. Let's call this test. Now, you have to copy the URL from RaceLab into the URL field here. And what you need to do is you need to specify the width and the height of the layout so it captures the full streaming output. So it's consistent with the information that it has in the background, which in this case is a game capture. So for my case, it's 2560 by 1440. For you, it can be something completely different. It's up to you to decide. Now, what happens is, in some cases, depending if you copied the black or the dark mode or the normal URL from RaceLab, you may see that there is a dark background and where all the overlays are displayed on. And in order to remove that, you have to change the background color here to transparent. I will have the exact script here into the description so you can just copy and paste it in yours. And once you do that and you can close, then all the information will be displayed nicely once you open up the game. So let's go open the game and see how it looks. All right, so now the game is open. You can see there are a couple of overlays displayed on the screen. This is the screen that I see when I drive. And if you remember, it's slightly different compared to the overlays I have for the streaming sessions. So on the mirror, you can see I have lots of different overlays for the things that I want to keep a track of, the session timers, the deltas, so on and so forth. But there were a lot more overlays that you currently cannot see on the screen because they're hidden on the left and the right side because my screen resolution is much larger than the output that I generate for my streams. So if I change to the scene that actually manages the game capture, as we saw earlier, with the browser source for the overlays from RaceLab, only for the streaming session, then you will see how much more information is displayed. I have my standings over here, I have my relatives down here, I have my bits flag up here, and anything around the mirror or the deltas, or for example, other information that are not relevant to the viewer is not displayed. And this is how it is achieved, which is very handy. And thank you to RaceLab for actually thinking of this and sorting it out for us. So I hope you find this useful. I hope you're going to use it for your recordings and streams because it made a huge difference for me, and I hope it will make a huge difference for you. I hope you enjoy the content. If you like it, like and subscribe. I will really appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.